On this episode, we're going to be concentrating on things we commonly mistake as a paranormal haunting. So many different explanations can be given rather than just a paranormal entity, supernatural, or any type of haunting. And we've got to look at these and eliminate them before we can categorise anything as being haunted or paranormal. Remember, paranormal isn't just about spirits or ghosts, it's about anything that's outside the normal. So one of the top most mistaken occurrences is sleep paralysis. So sleep paralysis is where the body's awake before the mind, or the mind's awake before the body, and we can't move, we can't speak, and it's common with people who are healthy people, but it's also been diagnosed with people who have sleep apnea, or people who have narcolepsy, different kind of sleep illnesses. Additional to that, it creates hallucinations, a sense of being watched, fear. We see flashing lights, and it's because there's a dysfunction in the REM state of his brain, or the rapid eye movement of sleep. And so it purely is just a hallucinogenic chemical being released into your brain whilst we're asleep, and it should not be mistaken for a true haunting. The most common way to kind of fix this issue, if it keeps happening over and over again, maybe some counselling, some CBT, some cognitive behavioural therapy, or even some medical meditation and relaxation. Long term, people will start noticing the benefits. Then we've got to start looking at electronic magnetic fields, or EMF as it's more commonly known. Basically EMF is a physical field provided by electronically charged goods. Now EMF is everywhere. The theory is that spirit will create EMF, but EMF has got like a negative impact. So I'll give you an example. We could have a faulty light fitting or a faulty fridge that's giving off serious amounts of EMF radiation, and it will cause us to really hallucinate, vomiting. You'll see figures, you'll hear noises, and it will really give us that true feeling that there's a haunting going off. The electronic magnetic field is extended all the way throughout space. We've got a North Pole and a South Pole that give us a magnetic field, and EMF can interrupt this, hence why we can monitor different changes. But we still need to look at the negative side of EMF. As I say, if it's been given from an appliance, it isn't haunting, but it will make you feel like you truly are being haunted. So we've got to look at toxic hallucinations. So, it's very common for people to have supernatural perceptions, and it can arise from reactions to toxic chemicals, like carbon monoxide, formaldehyde, pesticides, stuff we commonly come across in households every day. But the most common way of having toxic hallucinations is by having mould in your house. So mould spurs will affect parts of his body and will give us severe hallucinations. We will feel fear. We will get weird smells. We will see stuff, and it's like taking an hallucinogenic drug. It will actually induce these fears, and basically a lot of people wouldn't even realise that they might have mould in a certain area, and the spurs of this mould will stick to the enzymes in the body and create this paranormal occurrence that's not really happening. Then we've got a very interesting theories. Infrasound. Now, infrasound is any sound that's outside of our hearing capacity. We've seen where you can have whistles that only dogs can hear, or something that's that low that only certain animals can hear. But what that does, it creates a resonance, a frequency, a vibration, and it also creates our eyes to vibrate, hence creating hallucinations. Again, exactly the same as the EMF theory. Now, most commonly, wind turbines can cause stuff like this, faulty electrical appliances again. So we need to be very careful and make sure that we can eliminate any kind of infrasound before we say it's definitely a haunting. So there was a very famous professor, he was at the Clarkson University, Professor Shane Rogers, who did tons of experiments, including toxic hallucinations and infrasound. and he did hundreds and hundreds of set experiments, and each time he was able to prove that these people truly thought they had a haunting, and he was able to kind of show different areas of what were causing it. So he kind of replicated infrasound, and he replicated toxic hallucinations like the mold aspect, and his results were astounding. So we kind of need to think outside the box when it comes to this. One of the most common reasons that we believe that we've seen a haunting or a haunting's taking place is because somebody told us so. Now, we've all got that one person in our life that we will trust implicitly no matter what they tell us, okay? What they say is gospel. But let's say they've suffered from one of the already pre-mentioned symptoms that we've been talking about. They would then truly believe there's a haunting. We would trust that person because they've got total honesty and take it as gospel, you know? I just want people to start thinking outside the box before they claim that they've got a spirit in the house or claiming paranormal activity. Remember, when we can't explain it with science, then we say there's a possibility that this is paranormal, which is outside the normal. So guys, I want to thank you for watching today's episode. I'm John Sixthsense from the Whisper It Meets Science Centre. If you're not subscribed to our channel, please click the subscribe button and click the bell to be notified of future videos. Have a good day.